Inkosi. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello. Madam Giyar Lakshmi, please come. Madam Giyar Lakshmi, please. Please welcome. Please welcome. All. Wait a minute.
Hello. 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 Hello.
All the
Good morning, everyone, and respected guests and my colleagues. Today, we welcome everyone present here on our Research Conference 2004, that is RACON 2024, which is an international conference on collaborative excellence in multidisciplinary research.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dignitaries, professors, faculty members, scholars, and all the special guests out here. We would like to extend our welcome to each and everyone present here. I myself, Yumlema Bidyananda, according with my colleague, Madam Griha Lakshmi. We would like to welcome you, everyone here. For the next few days, this conference will be providing plenty of wisdom to enrich our knowledge through thoughts and insights shared on various multidisciplinary topics. This year, we are joined by over 300 participants from various parts of India as well as abroad. On behalf of Manipur International University, we wish each of you a pleasant and a fruitful cooperation during the conference. So in just a while, we will be starting our inaugural function. We would like to take this opportunity to call upon our dignitaries, respected dignitaries on the dais.
I would like to request Professor Usha Shuzit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Imphal, to please join us on stage as the chief guest of this inaugural function.
Joining her will be Professor N. Irabanta Singh, Chairman, Nivea Group of Companies, Singjamai Bajar, as his guest of honor for this inaugural function. Next, we have Professor Ningthausan Sanjoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College, Luang Sambam, as the guest of honor of our inaugural function.
Next, I would like to call upon President, Professor Dr. Hari Kumar Palotatka, Chancellor, Manipur International University, on the stage for the inaugural function. Once again, I would like to request Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Imphal, to please join us on stage as the chief guest on this inaugural function.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a round of applause for Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Imphal. She will be our chief guest for this inauguration of the Research Conference RECON 2024.
Once again, I would like to call upon Professor Dr. Hari Kumar Palotatka, Chancellor, Manipur International University, to come upon the stage as the president of this inaugural function. Please, sir.
Sir Professor Dr. Hari Kumar Palotatka, Chancellor, Manipur International University, Imphal. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Chancellor with a round of applause. Next, I would like to call upon our Registrar Madam Burjeshwari, our Registrar of Manipur International University.
Now I would like to call upon Pro VC of our Manipur International University, Professor Potsambam Kumar Singh.
Next, I would like to call upon our Secretary and Amarjit Singh, Director, Manipur International University, on the dais, please. And also we have our Organizing Secretary, M. Vishwanath Sarma, for the Recon 2024 on the dais. To make this conference a successful one, we shall seek the source's blessing by offering prayers to the Almighty. I would like to request our respected dignitaries to please join us for the customary lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you very much, our respected dignitaries. Now, as the opening of this auspicious inaugural function, we will start from a simple classical item, a vocal item by the scholars of Manipur International University. So, for the meanwhile, I would like to request the respected ladies to felicitate our dignitaries first. First, our chief guest, Professor Usha Shujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Impal. Next, we have our guest of honor, Professor N. Iravanta Singh, Niva Group of Companies, Singjamai Bazaar.
Next, we have Professor Tausam Santoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College. Please facilitate, sir.
Hello, hello. Hello.
Now, we would like to facilitate guest of President, Professor Dr. Hari Kumar Palataka, Chancellor, Manipur International University.
So next we have our President, Dr. Hari Kumar, Chancellor of Manipur International University. Next, we have our Pro VC, Professor P. Kumar.
Now, we would like to take this opportunity to facilitate Ma'am, Register Ma'am, Brajeshwari, Manipur International University.
Next, we have our Director N. Amarjit Singh, Manipur International University, with a small token of appreciation. Following up, we have Dr. M. Vishwanath Sarma, Organizing Secretary for the RECON 2024. So with this, we will start our inaugural opening ceremony song with the Hindustani classical vocal performance by the scholars of Performing Arts, Manipur International University. They will be starting with the Vilas Khani Tori in Hindustani classical raga. It is a blend of ragas Ashavari and Tori. It has a close affinity with the Komal Rishabh and Ashavari. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a classical performance by the scholars of Performing Arts, Manipur International University.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. कोयल कोयलिया का है करता पुकार, 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 कोयलिया का करता पुकार, कोयलिया का करता पुकार, कोयलिया का करता पुकार, कोयलिया का है करता पुकार, कोयलिया का है करता पुकार। अब भयो दिन बीते अंधियार, अब भयो दिन बीते अंधियार, कोयलिया का करता पुकार, कोयलिया का करता पुकार। सबने सजागत बीती उमरिया, सबने सजागत बीती उमरिया, चंचल चबल मन गायो रिहार, कोयलिया का करता पुकार, 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 कोयलिया का करता करता पुकार कोयलिया का करता पुकार रन रन धम धम कर रन रन धम धम कर रन रन धम धम कर कोयलिया का करता पुकार करता पुकार करता पुकार तान रे तान रे तान रे तान रे तान रे तान रे दान चंद्र दान 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 रे
Mukjam Noren. Then in tabla we have Basaspati Mayum Dev Kumar, and in sitar with Laimyum Nelson. Following up, we have another Meitei song from the scholars and the faculty members of Manipur International University. So a ritual is incomplete without a proper blessings from the Almighty. Sonjasi mapumagi minglenbu nijasi taibangpan mapudagi. For the blessings and the fruitful organization of this international conference, Recon 2024, we have a prayer song for the Taibang Mapu to be performed by Sophia Chanu, accompanied by R.K. Upendro and Laimyum Nelson Sharma.
Hello, say hello.
Thank you. It was really indeed a thrilling and heart-touching performance given by our research scholars of performing arts of MIU. Now I would like to welcome Mr. M. Vishwanath Sarma, Organizing Secretary of RECON 24, to deliver a welcome address. Sir, please come upon the dais.
A very good morning to respected Chief Guest, Madam Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Manipur, esteemed Guest of Honors, Professor N. Irabanta Singh, Chairman and CMD, Nivea Consultancy Private Limited, and Professor Ningthozam Sanjoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College, Manipur. Now, President of this inaugural function and Chancellor of MIU, Sir Hari Kumar, Chairman of RECON 24 and Registrar of MIU, Madam Rajeshwari, Convener of RECON 24 and Pro VC of MIU, Professor P. Kumar Sir, distinguished invited speakers, and all delegates of RECON 24. It is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all at RECON 24 International Conference on Collaborative Excellence in Multidisciplinary Research. Your presence is of great importance in fostering an environment of intellectual discourse and cross-pollination of ideas. Over the next 3 days, we will dive into diverse fields of study, challenging conventions, and exploring new frontiers. Your insightful presentations and stimulating discussions will enrich our understanding and catalyze collaborative excellence. We eagerly anticipate your participation in this congregation of brilliant minds, where we collectively contribute to the advancement of knowledge for greater good. Once again, a hearty welcome to this prestigious gathering. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vishwanath Sarma. Next, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Professor Poshamam Kumar Singh, Vice Chancellor, Manipur International University and convener of RECON 2024, to give a short keynote on this event.
Okay. A very good morning to you all. First, I would like to give respect to all the dignitaries. Today's chief guest, Professor Usha S. Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University, Madam. Next, I request Professor Hari Kumar Palada, today's President, Chancellor, Manipur International University, Professor N. Irabanta, Chairman, Nivea Group of Companies, Guest of Honor of today's function, Professor N. Sanjoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College, Luang Changbom, Guest of Honor, Professor T. Bajeshwari Devi, Registrar, and today's their RECON's chairperson, and Shri N. Amarjit Singh, Director, MIU, and Dr. M. Vishwanath Sarma, Organizing Secretary, MIU. It is a very small, humble keynote speech of 3 pages. I think this will be in all the souvenir and for the guests. It will be inside. Kindly, I will take only 5 minutes time. Honorable invitees and the distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be with you in this morning at the inaugural ceremony of the International Conference Recon 24, Manipur International University. On behalf of the organizing committee, may I extend a very warm welcome to all participants in this conference. We were most grateful earlier this month that all of you supported our rescheduling of the conference, which unfortunately had to be postponed due to the election on 19th of April. We would like to say thank you to our members in the dais, invitees, colleagues, staff members, students who sent words of sympathy and encouragement to us. We will never forget our friendship and relationship at this very important time. The Manipur International University is an autonomous state statutory international university. It is established, recognized, and institutionally accredited by the state government of Manipur. It is recognized and listed by the University Grants Commission, UGC, Minister of Education, Government of India, under Section 2F of UGC Act. As Manipur International University recognizes the international conference, we expect rich exchanges and innovative contribution that will materialize during our academic gathering. This event promises to enrich our collective understanding and will likely reformulate the boundaries of multidisciplinary collaboration. These interactions will underscore the importance of interdisciplinary dialogue in driving scientific and practical advancement for future. In the education sector, the National Education Policy 2020, NEP 2020, has enunciated to cause the change leading to a departure from traditional educational boundaries, thereby leading towards multidisciplinary education. Moreover, NEP 2024, the conference program promises to be a rich mosaic of scientific session, keynote address, paper presentation, and panel discussions, all centered around the theme of collaborative excellence of multidisciplinary research. We are coming step abroad on this inclining scenario, keeping the spirit of collaboration and collective wisdom. Collaborative effort only can fulfill the potential of multidisciplinary research and pave the way of groundbreaking discoveries in various ideas. It is our experience governments seldom perform impeccably in the actions taken fulfillment of these desirable aims. India is among the world's most prolific countries in terms of research output after the United States and China. From 2014 to 2021, the number of universities increased from 760 to 1,113. In the past decade, 7 more Indian institutes of technology, the country's network of education and the research center, have been set up. Researchers from all corners suggested that basic research has been neglected by successive governments and that thriving research systems need much greater autonomy. India's science spending, adjusted for purchasing power of parity, PPP, increased from the equivalent US dollar 50.3 billion in 2015 to 2014 to 15 to US dollar 57.9 billion in 2020-21. Research and development program in India spending rose steadily, peaking 2009 to 2010 at 0.82% of GDP before declining of its present levels according to DST data. Now India has become the advanced countries and giving financial assistance. The Indian Parliament approved a bill authorizing the establishment of a funding agency, the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. It was charged with disbursing 5,000 billion rupees. So as DST's own data clearly show, India's cooperation especially can and should be a lot of generous. Now overall public and private investment in science, social science, humanities, etc. could uplift economies by extensive society's health and well-being. Let me conclude that my keynote presentation can make conference sink or short this vital part of the meeting schedule, in which the whole conference listen to an invited guest speaker can move delegates into ruptures of intellectual and emotional sparks. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point it is my honor to invite to deliver the invited lectures in various disciplines in the plenary session of this conference. Thank you very much. I wish the conference a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kumar sir, for your interesting insights into the financial assistance and objectives of this RECON 24. Now, may I take the opportunity to call upon the dais guest of honor, Professor N. Irabanta Singh, Chairman, Nivea Group of Companies, Manipur, to come upon the dais. Sir, please.
It's going to be noon now. Good morning. Today's functional president, Professor Hari Kumar Palatka, Chancellor, Manipur International University, Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sport University, Professor N. Sanjoy Singh, Guest of Honor, who is also Principal, Liberal College, Luang Sambam, Imphal, Professor P. Kumar, Pro Vice Chancellor, Manipur International University, then Professor T. Brijeshwari, Registered MIU and Chairperson of RECON 24, and also Sri Amarjit N. Amarjit Singh, Director MIU, and Dr. M. Biswanath Sharma, who is the Organizing Secretary, RECON 24, the invitees, delegates, and friends. I am not very sure wherefrom I'll start this guest of lecture in connection with the Research Conference 2024, RECON 24, on the thrust area collaborative excellence in multidisciplinary research. Well, a reminiscence of my experience, 30 years experience in the Manipur University, in connection with technology transfer and academic entrepreneurship. I'd like to enlighten some of these points to this august body. As I said, I'm not very sure my lecture will be appropriate with the thrust area of this conference. Well, academic entrepreneurship facilitates revenue generation. This is very important, and research and industry connection in universities. That gives accurately the accurate capture of the technology transfer into devices, diverse fields, and that will increase economic growth. I'm very sure that Professor P. Kumar, he has done human service in the field of the medicinal plant. Professor Kumar has done very good work in the field of the medicinal plant. If you could transfer in the form of the entrepreneurship, technology transfer, I'm not very sure whether the Tibetan people still here, they have those medicinal medicines extracted from the plants. That will be very important. You can generate income out of your research work. So transfer of technology, whatever you get from the laboratory, that can be huge in the entrepreneurship way, by the way of the training. That is one aspect. Way back in 1984 to 2015, our team, the Manipur University, conducted technology transfer and academic entrepreneurship initiatives, including training of blue-green algae, biofertilizer for the NGOs of northeastern India. I remember those days when we approached the agriculture department, the officers in the agriculture department, they mocked at us, what will do with this biofertilizer? We have the plenty of the inorganic fertilizers. Now these are the people now speaking about what is called organic farming. Those days in late 90s, when I started, biofertilizer, green manure, in the Manipur University, they mocked at us. But now, I'm very happy that at least people are now aware of this technology. Those days, even Azolla biofertilizer technology, 3 students did PhD under my supervision in biofertilizer, BJ biofertilizer, 1 in Azolla biofertilizer in the university, Manipur University. So those days, late 90s, that was the pioneer work. I had the opportunity to get training in Pusa Institute, Department of Microbiology, under Department of Division of Microbiology, what is called National Biofertilizer Laboratory. Professor led G.S. Venkataraman. He was very kind enough. He gave me 2 weeks training. In that training itself, I wrote up a research project and submitted to DBT those days. In those days, in the late 90s, DBT sanctioned 16 lakhs, I think, 16 lakhs in those days. So out of those work, the entire Northeast India rice pool soil we have surveyed, the presence of blue-green algae, and possibility of the use of those blue-green algae as a biofertilizer. Now, apart from that, we did some other technology transfer of the earthworm, use of the earthworm in organic farmings. Till yesterday, I saw in the academic that has been converted into vermi compost, and that was used for the cultivation of the horticultural crops, especially the vegetables. That was very fruitful. That was the project sanctioned by DBT, Government of India in those days, especially for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities. Another technology transfer we tried was the green manure. This is a very interesting field where we did in the Manipur University. Utilizing of, there is one plant, we call it Shonggang, which is grown in the paddy field. Eschinomi aspera, the green plant, twig, we cut and put in the plantation place where the rice will be planted. That gives very good results. And we tried during 2002 and 2003 during the Kharif crop. That gives better yield than the use of the urea. So that was the things we used. Another aspects of technology transfer was propagation of water mimosa. Very shortly, Honorable Chief Guest will be releasing our book on Mimosa pudica, or water mimosa for sustainable development in Eastern, South and Southeast Asia, being published by Lombard, German. So we conducted the experiment that was sanctioned by CSIR, New Delhi. We were doing some experiment whether the Ethiopia affected paddy lands, paddy fields, can be somehow received some income out of this inundated water. So our results found that the amount or the income earned from the paddy field, paddy sowing, and water mimosa plantation, water mimosa plantation give more income to the farmers. That was one. The another aspect was about the Parthenium invasion and check of the biodiversity imbalance in Northeast India. DBT was kind enough to give that project before my retirement. It was from 2015 to 2018. That also we tried the use of those. We used the Acacia tora to suppress the Parthenium invasion in Northeast, especially in Impal area. But after my retirement, the work was discontinued. But this case was very fruitful. We have done a lot of work on it, and even the extension bulletin was produced for that. So universities, in short, evolving into entrepreneurial institutions, prioritizing technology transfer for economic growth, and also emphasizing the faculty engagement, industry relationship, specialized technology transfers. We need to encourage those offices to do the effective commercialization of the product from the laboratory. We can drive socio-economic development by technology transfers of whatever we get from the laboratory for commercial activities, and there are a lot of the innovative initiatives, innovative technologies developed through the academic entrepreneurship. Shortly, the Honorable Chief Guest will release our book, Water Mimosa for Sustainable Development in Eastern South and Southeast Asia. The Chancellor, Manipur International University, Dr. Hari Kumar, we are very grateful to you, sir, for giving us a chance to release our book in presence of these auspicious functions. With these few words, I conclude my speech as a guest of honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor N. Iravanta Singh, Chairman, Nivea Group of Companies. Now, I would like to take this privilege to welcome Professor N. Sanjoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College, to give us some speech, a short speech on this event.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected Chief Guest of today's function, Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University. Guest of honor of today's function, Professor N. Iravanta Singh, my teacher, and also Chairman of Nivea Group of Companies, Singjamin Bazaar. President of today's function, Professor Dr. Hari Kumar Palathadka, Chancellor, Manipur International University. Professor P. Kumar Singh, my mentor, and also the Pro VC of Manipur International University. Professor T. Bradeshwari Devi, Chairperson Recon, Registrar of MIU, and Sri Ningomam Amarjit Singh, Director, MIU, and Dr. M. Vishwanath Sharma, Running Secretary, Recon 24. Esteemed colleagues and the distinguished guests and the visionary educator, it's an honor to stand before you to share some thoughts about this collaborative excellence in multidisciplinary research. And this part, in my opinion, this function, this seminar, this academic venture is aligned with the national education policy of India. And at the present moment, we are facing many issues, and some of these issues require our multidisciplinary approach. For instance, climate change, it may be climate change or public health or urbanization. All these things require our multidisciplinary approach. And these issues does not exist in isolation. They are complex and interconnected. And they require solutions that transcend the academic disciplines. And that's where our multidisciplinary research become invaluable. By integrating diverse disciplines, researchers can develop more comprehensive solutions that consider multiple aspects of a problem. It may range from economic implication to societal impact. For instance, we have seen our global COVID-19 pandemics, and that pandemic underscored the necessity for such collaborative work. Epidemiologists, data scientists, public policy experts, and the social scientists work together to understand the virus spread, the impact, and the mitigation process satisfactorily. Similarly, we have to address the climate change, and it requires the combined efforts of environmental scientists, engineers, political scientists, and economists to create sustainable and practical solutions. Moreover, the multidisciplinary research fosters innovation. It is very crucial in 21st century. When experts from various fields combine and collaborate, they bring different perspectives to a particular issues, and it often leads to breakthrough ideas and discoveries. This approach not only accelerates the advancement of knowledge, it can also enhance the educational experience, and it can empower the experiential learning also, and so that the students can prepare to think holistically and creatively. Let us remind ourselves with the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher Heraclitus, who said that the only constant in life is change. In the context of 21st century, this statement is still relevant. In the fast-changing world, the only constant in this world is the change. We have to change. And the ability to adapt and integrate knowledge across disciplines is not only beneficial, but it is essential in the 21st century. This adaptability by multidisciplinary approaches is what NEP 2020 aims to cultivate in the educational landscape of India. The National Education Policy, we all know, aims to cultivate the multidisciplinary research by redesigning the educational structure to support seamless integration between different disciplines. This policy encourages institutions ranging from university to schools to break down the rigid separations between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, and between vocational and academic streams. And we have seen, we have already many universities and academic institutions have already started implementing ABCID or upper ID, so that one student can transfer the credit from one college or university to another. A student learning in the MIU can earn credit from another university by taking some credit transferred through this DigiLocker and the ABCID. And if a course is not open in this university, he can take part, he can enlist, he can learn from the Swayam or some other online courses, and then transfer the credit, the point, the mark obtained by the student can be incorporated here. That is the vision of the NEP. And that's why we have to break down the knowledge boundary. Formerly, a philosophy, a science student cannot offer the student a subject from the arts. But nowadays, with the learning outcome-based curriculum framework based on the choice-based credit system, a student learning in physics can offer a course in philosophy also. And if a particular student wants to pursue his career in film industry, he has to learn physics, he has to learn digital technology, and he can learn also linguistics and also fine arts or something, performing arts also. And there is no separation. There is no separation in the real world, only in the academic discipline. And that silos has been broken in 2020. And I think this, our multidisciplinary research conference here, it aligns with this NEP 2020. And now, the implementation of the multidisciplinary research under NEP brings a multitude of benefits that extend beyond the confines of academic institutions, touching every aspect of societal development. It has different benefits of students, educational institutes, and the social attributes. The foremost benefit for students is the development of a versatile skill that enhances the employability and the adaptability in the dynamic job market. In the 21st century, our purpose, the main purpose of the education is for employability. That particular objective was not present in the earlier education policy, but in the new education policy, employability is one thing. Either you may be employable or you can work as an entrepreneur also. By engaging in the multidisciplinary studies, students tend to analyze problems from various perspectives, enhance their critical thinking abilities, and cultivate innovative problem-solving skills. It is the part of the 21st century skill. If a student has to survive, if a student has to success in the 21st century, he has to possess critical 21st century critical skills. And that problem solving, we should not be confined to our only academic domain. We have to possess critical thinking also, digital literacy also, and many other issues also. And so the number of the critical skills is also increasing. And that aspect and imparting of the skills and upgrading of our skills can be implemented, can be successful only if we have imparted our multidisciplinary approach in our learning and teaching also. And for institutions, adopting a multidisciplinary approach elevates their academic standing and attractiveness. It encourages a culture of research and innovation, attracts a higher caliber of faculty and students, and increasing opportunities for international collaboration. Institutions become incubators for groundbreaking research that can attract investments and a partnership from industry and the government bodies. On a societal level, the benefits of multidisciplinary research facilitated by NEP, it includes faster and the more sustainable solutions to national and the global challenges. For instance, combining insights from environmental science, urban planning, and the public policy can lead to more effective strategies for sustainable development. In spite of that, there are also challenges and opportunities for multidisciplinary research. We should not forget the challenges and the opportunities. One of the primary obstacles in the existing educational infrastructure, which has traditionally been silos. Facilitating this transition requires substantial changes in curriculum design. We have to change our curriculum, and we are facing a lot of problem in changing to the new framework of the curriculum. UGC has released credit framework structure, and many universities are struggling to adapt to this new credit framework. And when we study the credit structure of the different universities at present, we have seen a lot of the disparities. Subject at combination, number of credits hour, and there is other confusions also in the terminologies of the credit. The credit from the mark, or the contact hour, or the credits to be transferred from one course to another. There are some terminological, even the terminological differences are also there. And this transition requires substantial changes in curriculum design, teaching methodologies. It is suggested we have to import blended learning. 40% of our teaching can be included from the online courses. On the online courses as well as offline courses, the lectures should be constituted only about 60%. Rest of the 40% should be on the activity-based learning. And there will be change in the pedagogical structure and the pedagogical system. We have to change in the light of the NEP. And then to make it successful, we have to train the faculty. We have to change, we have to give awareness to the stakeholders also. And so, this collaborative research environment requires adequate funding and the resources, which can be a significant hurdle. Institutions may struggle with allocating budgets that accommodate the broad spectrum of multidisciplinary activities. From updating libraries and the laboratories, we have to update our infrastructure, we have to upgrade the technological skill, we have to introduce the smart classroom, and so all this will require resources. There will be major challenges. Despite these challenges, the opportunities are very vast. A wide range of opportunities are there. The NEP 2020 opens doors to creating an educational framework that is more aligned with global standards. And we are planning, India is aspiring to be the Vishwaguru, so that we be the knowledge superpower in 2050, 2047. And in that standard, Indian students and researchers can contribute significantly to global knowledge and the innovation. This policy encourages a shift from rote learning to a more inquiry-based, discovery-driven education system, which can significantly enhance the quality and the impact of research output. By embedding multidisciplinary research into the education system, India can enhance its competitive edge on the international stage, attracting more international students and researchers, and fostering global partnership. This not only enriches the educational experience for Indian students, but also position India as a vibrant and innovative educational hub. This approach not only prepares our students to the complexities of the modern world, but also positions India at the forefront of global innovation and development. As educator, policymaker, and stakeholder, it is our duty and the privilege to support and implement these changes, ensuring that the benefits of multidisciplinary research are realized across all levels of education and society. Let us embrace this challenge with enthusiasm and a commitment for the betterment of our nation and the world at large. And let us move forward together in this exciting new era of education. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for your in-depth speech on multidisciplinary approach, integrating various disciplines to heighten our learning and education system in both academically and in research area. Thank you, sir. Now, may I take the privilege to call upon our chief guest, Professor Usha Sujit Nair, VC, National Sports University, Manipur, to come upon the dais to deliver a speech on this event. Thank you.
Most respected President, Professor D. Hari Kumar, Chancellor of the Manipur International University, Guest of Honor, Professor Sanjay Singh, Principal, Liberal College, Guest of Honor, Professor N. Irambata Singh, Chairman, Nebia Group of Companies, all the dignitaries, we are the Pro Vice Chancellor, Director, Registrar of the Manipur International University, gave you details in terms of the multidisciplinary research. But I could just say is, at the outset, I'd like to congratulate the performance done by the for the music in the Hindustani music and the Manipuri, the prayer, it was excellent. So hats off, it was really good. I need to congratulate, I heard that they were scholars of this particular university. So that itself shows, it's a matter of pride for this university. Secondly, I also was told you have the PhD scholars of nearly 44 subjects. I think that's something immense, because 44 PhD means this particular conference of collaborative excellence and multidisciplinary research, you could start implementing from this university. You don't need to even look out for that. So that's a great achievement. In group, in collaboration, that finally we could get it done. So the complexities of today's challenges develop from materials addressing biological problems requiring expertise. For example, let me talk of, I'm from the field of sports, and whether you're familiar with that, most of you may think, what is there in physical education when you talk of a doctorate? We do have sports sciences such as exercise physiology, sports biomechanics, sports training, sports psychology, sports sociology. For us, when we bring in, I think, multidisciplinary, we bring in all this together because there is only one goal. How is it possible to enhance the performance if it is in terms of a sport? Think of a product, like for example, recently we had a firm in terms of shoes approaching us. Could you give us the scientific backup, and then we would help you in manufacturing of a shoes, footwear. So I think that's how it happens to work. And it's important that we need to have a team, but when we talk of this, how could we go about with collaboration? The goal is only one. We need to sit at a common platform, keeping aside all the differences, because often, even in our field, we have one of the sports science, sports biomechanics says, they say we are the best. Sports psychology, no, we are above you. So when there is a disagreement among these disciplines, it doesn't work. So the first and foremost, we need to come to a common platform, sit together, and then think, because we just have one, how was it possible to arrive at a solution? So in this learning, we need to build up a team, and I think it's practically feasible. Like right now, sir was telling we have for the medicinal plants. So I said, why don't we have a garden of medicinal plants? I'm from Kerala, and most of the places we have medicinal plants garden. You visit because it's very famous for Ayurveda, and you can just walk around. They would say, these are the plants that you have. So maybe to start with, I was just talking to Dr. Hari Kumar, why don't you have that? So I think when people should come and visit this place and say, this is what we have. We don't need to look out for it. So same way, we need to bring with diverse backgrounds together, build up a team. But the most important is in terms of, we need to use a common language. I think language should not become a barrier. It's not possible to speak everybody's language. Like I am from Kerala, and here we are in Manipur, but I have a very good group of friends. But we be able to communicate with each other irrespective of us sharing the same language. So I think it's important to understand that. Secondly, it's also important in terms of laboratories or in terms of disciplines. The operational differences need to be sorted out so that the gaps could be minimized. And thirdly, to bring out with a plan. We need to have an organization plan, have a formal communication, and I'm sure with this, the multidisciplinary research, when we talk of this particular research, could always be much better. Secondly, whenever we talk of it, if there is some financial transparency and frequent meetings, acknowledgement, sharing whatever we happen, it's not that one person gets it. How about the authorship? Many a time when we do a combined research, who would be the first author, second author, third author? There's always a debate onto that. I think it's everything need to be set aside, being transparent first, so that would be much better. And for all this, I think open communication is required. We need to have respect, fairness, respect foundations. And I was also told the Manipur International University follows all ethical standards. So I think for research, it's very clear what is expected in terms of honesty, integrity, in terms of the quality. I heard that this particular university did not compromise with the quality. That's a big hand for the chancellor. And addressing these issues, we can definitely, it will be a key to successful collaboration. So the benefit of collaboration are undeniable. Synergizing expertise and perspective allows us to achieve breakthroughs at a pace unattainable in isolation. Think what happened during COVID. How were teams coming together to come up, develop a vaccine? So collaborative projects not only advance science, but also serve as a training grounds for future leaders. As we move forward, let us remember that effective team management and open communication are the pillars of success in collaborative endeavors. Together we can continue to push the boundaries and make a lasting impact in society. With NEP 2020, as rightly pointed out earlier, by 2030, I think all the universities are going to become multidisciplinary institutions, and only then we can survive. So I'd say better that we start now, and I need to congratulate the Manipur International University for having taken this initiative of having this particular conference, which would pave way for in times to come, where this university also would be is already a multidisciplinary university, but I'm sure it's going to grow in times to come. So in pursuit of knowledge, let us forge bonds, transcend discipline, for it is in collaboration that we unlock the mysteries of our universe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Vice Chancellor, National Sports University in Perth. With this,
following up, we still have some book release to be done. I would like the dignitaries this book release. Okay, we will have a few words from Sir Iravanta.
Thank you, Professor Usha Nair, for releasing our book. Thank you, Professor Nair, Mr. Nair, for releasing our book,
Hello.
Water Mimosa for Sustainable Development in Eastern, South, and Southeast Asia, being published by Lombard Academic Publishing, German. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, this was the part of the scheme sanctioned by CSIR. One of the co-author is Dr. Romesh. He's here. Dr. Sawan Semcha, Dr. Romesh. Dr. Romesh is here, and he is co-author, and he did his PhD work. So the material is from this PhD work plus my project, our project. In fact, it was not my only. It was a combination of the agronomy department, Central Agriculture University, and the soil science department of the Central Agriculture University. That was financed by the CSIR. As I already mentioned, that this was to help the farmers how to eradicate the loss of those inundated fields and the ethyl. The book has been reviewed by two persons. One, Professor Pandey, ex-professor and head, Department of Environmental Science, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, Maharashtra, and also Dr. L. Navachandra Singh, Professor of Agronomy, and also Department of Agronomy, Central Agriculture University, Hiroshima. They have reviewed this book thoroughly, and I'm very grateful to both the reviewers and also the authority of the Manipur International Universities for releasing this book. Few words, I once again thank you all for giving us a chance to release this book. Thank you. I would like to present one copy, though it is one copy of the book to the Vice Chancellor of the Sport University, National Sport University, and another copy to Professor Hari Kumar of the Chancellor, Manipur International University. The cost of the book is 5,000. So I could not present to the other members. Okay. Chancellor, Manipur International University. The cost of the book is 5,000.
Thank you, sir,
So I could
for
not
your
present to the other
insightful
members.
thoughts. It's an honor to have you here. So next, I would like to request Madam Rajeshwari, Register, Manipur International University, insightful thoughts, to share a few words with us. So next, I would like to request Madam Rajeshwari, Register, Manipur International University, insightful thoughts, to share a few words with us. So next, I would like to request Madam Rajeshwari.
Professor Usha Sujit Nair, Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Sports University, Professor N. Irabanta Singh, Chairman, Nivea Group of Companies, Professor Sanjay Singh, Principal, Liberal College Long, and Professor Hari Kumar, Chancellor, Manipur International University, all faculty of Manipur International University, invited resource persons, speakers, invitees, press personnel, then invited administrative staff of MIU, invitees. It is a great day because every great effort it has come to light today. For 1 year we had been planning for a international conference, but because of the situation of Manipur, it could not be, it could not materialize. But now today it has materialized. It is a successful day for all faculty of MIU. Manipur International University is focused on research. We have a research-based departments. Now we have a large number of faculty in a house, means a very closely knit family of researchers, very dynamic young researchers, and in a very short time, Manipur International University has produced more than 500 papers. It has been published in some very prestigious journals also. And then we expect more in the coming years. This conference will also produce a lot more enthusiasm in research. When we were first starting the research courses, I already spent 10 years in multidisciplinary research projects. So I always ask our PhD scholars, would not you like to do multidisciplinary research? Then everyone said, oh, we are afraid our career will be affected. So National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes on multidisciplinary research. However, the condition is not yet in the educational environment yet, but we should promote it. All the PhD scholars, senior scholars and students and our faculties, please strive for multidisciplinary research. Funds will be available. Government of India has very generous funds, National Research Foundation. And we have more than 360 presentations. It will be a very hectic program. And I do not want to take any time because it's already, everyone is wanting to present their papers. And I congratulate you all, and then let us start the sessions. Thank you all. Present their papers. And I congratulate you all, and then let us start the sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your valuable speech. Now, Now, may I take the opportunity to call upon Vice Chancellor Professor Harit Kumar Palatkar, MIU, to give few words on this event, Recon 224. Sir, please, Vice Chancellor Professor Harit Kumar Palatkar, MIU, to give few words on this event, Recon 224.
Hello. Good afternoon. Esteemed guests on the dais, distinguished scholars, my dear students and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Today I stand before you with an overwhelming sense of honor and gratitude as we embark upon this extraordinary journey of excellence in collaborative research and multidisciplinary research. It is my profound privilege to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests from near and far. My special thanks and warm welcome to our own Professor Usha Madam for being the chief guest of this function. Thanks and welcome to Sir Professor Irabanta sir and Professor Sanjoy sir for gracing the function. Thank you, sir. This conference marks a special moment in the annals of higher education as we gather here from diverse disciplines, united by shared passion for knowledge and innovation. By bringing together leading minds from various specialties, and we seek to ignite conversations that transcend disciplinary boundaries, leading to transformative breakthroughs. When we venture beyond the confines of our individual fields of expertise, we expose ourselves to new perspectives, challenge existing paradigms, and discover hidden connections that have the power to reshape our understanding of the world. It is my sincere hope that this conference will be a platform for the cross-pollination of concepts where novel ideas are conceived and interdisciplinary collaborations are forged. I envision a dynamic and thought-provoking environment where scholars engage in spirited discussions, challenge assumptions, and push the frontiers of human knowledge. Through open dialogue and collaborative endeavors, I trust that we can collectively generate actionable solutions to the most pressing issues of our time. For Manipur International University, this event holds immense significance. It embodies our unwavering commitment for fostering academic excellence, promoting interdisciplinary collaboration, and contribution to the advancement of the knowledge. By hosting Recon 24, we not only showcase our university's capabilities, but also reaffirm our role as a catalyst for innovation and change in the region. From now onwards, this International Research Conference will be a regular annual event. Thank you each and everyone for such overwhelming response. We stand tall with nearly 500 applied patents and more than 600 research papers published in various reputable journals, including SCI and SSCI. We will also be publishing 5 online journals from this year onwards, which will be listed in UGC CAC. We are proud of our talented faculty and dedicated scholars from all over India and abroad. This makes our university, and we will work hard and aim higher in the coming days in spite of various challenges. We will also be applying for American regional accreditation in the coming days. And we will be venturing into various startup innovations which will also be generating employment opportunities for the youth. I am happy to announce that Niti Aayog has already selected MIU as Atal Community Innovation Center and shortlisted us for Atal Incubation Mission. This year we will be transforming into a bigger picture altogether. Lot of changes are waiting for you. We will be making our students proud. As we embark on this intellectual adventure together, I urge each and every one of you to embrace the spirit of inquiry, challenge yourself intellectually, and contribute your unique perspectives to our collective endeavor. Together, let us make this conference resounding success. Let us make this conference a testament to the transformative power of interdisciplinary collaboration and a beacon of hope for a brighter future for all. Thank you, one and all, and may the spirit of excellence guide us throughout this momentous event. Yai Fare, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Hari Kumar, for your delightful words. This conference would not have been possible without your constant support. Moving ahead, I would like to request Sir Ningombam Amarjit, Director MIU, to give the vote of thanks speech.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Well, I would like to give my own consent as the director of Manipur International University to render vote of thanks to all. It is my esteemed privilege to express my gratitude to Professor Usha Nair, National Sports University, Professor Hari Kumar, Chancellor Manipur International University, Professor N. Irabanta Singh, Chairman and former Vice Chancellor B.T. Kandazit University, Professor N. Sanjoy Singh, Principal, Liberal College, Professor P. Kumar Singh, Convener and Pro Vice Chancellor, Manipur International University, Professor T. Brajeswari Devi, Chairperson and Register of Manipur International University, and Dr. M. Biswanath Sharma, Organizing Secretary, RECON 2024 of Manipur International University. Honorable invitees, esteemed delegates, distinguished participants, learned fellows, and my dear senior and junior colleagues present in this colloquium, I would like to give my best regard to all localities as well as to every print and electronics media so as to make RECON 2024 a great grand success. I, on behalf of Manipur International University and Organizing Committee of RECON 2024, would like to thank all the members, which I could not mention their names, and dignitaries, as well as thankful to the best and well-wishers like Dr. Suresh, like Dr. Habamindra Kumar Singh of this conference, and those who contribute their valuable suggestions, which I render a fruitful one. Thank you very much for molding this conference.
This we will be heading on with the refreshment. Then after that, we'll be having our technical sessions online as well as offline at the administration block in the front. At the left side, we have the annexer building and one more at the academic building at another building there. So we'll be having the 3 sessions, parallel sessions together. Then with 2 sessions, after the completion of 2 sessions, we'll be having a cultural event there for the inaugural function. So I would like to request our dignitaries and
I would like to request our president of this function to say this inaugural function is closed.
The inaugural function of RECON 24 is closed. All the best.
PhD scholar Jorita and Rupasi from the administration block kindly help us with refreshment here.